And welcome back. At least two of the island's foremost authorities on public health have thrown their support behind the resumption of sports locally. This as the country looks to a full resumption of sports under strict COVID-19 protocols. Karen Madden reports.
The shutdown of sports since the country recorded its first case of COVID-19 in March last year has been a source of concern for not only athletes but administrators and fans. Speaking on Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines on Tuesday, Professor of Public Health at the University of the West Indies, Peter Figueroa, threw his support behind the resumption of sports with proper protocols.
I think it is quite feasible for them to resume some competition done carefully, but obviously you have to take into account where there's community spread and if it increases. But I would have been in favor of organizing athletics and some of the other sports. Once it is done carefully, properly, it means that you have to do quite a lot of testing to ensure that people are not infected with the virus. But it has been shown internationally that it is possible.
His position was shared by Associate Professor in UTEC's School of Public Health, Dr. Alverston Bailey.
I'm of the opinion that we can renew sports in a controlled way, especially if it's not contact sports. I've actually observed what is taking place in Australia right now, where the competing teams are actually kept in an isolated area by themselves. They're tested, they're quarantined, and then they're allowed to play with each other without necessarily interacting with other members of the community during the period of sports activity. Therefore, I think sports can be reintroduced in a controlled way by ensuring that appropriate isolation of the athletes takes place before isolation and testing takes place before the competition starts.
Last Friday, Sports Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange announced that live sporting events can resume as long as administrators and organizers submit applications for the hosting of their events on a case-by-case basis. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.